Sometimes if lesser the time. So I will directly jump to the OSA model. In the OSA model, at the time of application layer time, I will explain these protocols. But it is separate because we can concentrate on protocols more than OSA model. So for OSA model, we concentrate on more on the OSA model related only. Okay. So simple, small topic, protocol, then we'll take 5 minutes, then relax, and then OSA model. Protocols. Protocols are set of rules. Generally, that is statement is given. So originally, the protocols defines what type of communication. When we started networking, what is the first thing? Why we need a network? What is meant by communication? Types of network communication. What are the different types of communications? Like web-based communication, mail communication, remote access communication. Okay. Remote authentication communications, deployment, upload or download of files, that type of communication, time synchronization communications, like that. So different types of communications are there. Instant messaging, message communications, right? So different types of communication. So I have a remote device and I have a client device. Now I want to get connected. I want to send a mail or I want to access a website from that server. So what do you want? How you will ask to that server? Of course, to communicate between two devices, we should have our own IP address and we should know remote device IP address. But what type of communication you want to do? So you want to access a youtube.com. So you should specify that a protocol here, HTTPS. You want to access a website, tpoint.com, then you should specify the protocol. Directly it is visual, sometimes not. I have a remote server, I want to access, I want to upload a file or download a file from it. Then I have to use a protocol, FTP protocol. You're sending a mail, you use SMTP protocol. You are receiving a mail from mail server, that is POP3 or IMAP protocol. Okay. For every communication, what kind of communication? What you want? What information you want it? Is that remote server providing, remote machine providing that services or not? How it will understand what you want? How remote system understand what you want? Is it providing that service or not? Then it will reply based on your request. So what is your request? What kind of request you are sending? That is based on the protocol. To understand what is request from the clients or request from the devices and response to the client, response to the devices, understand by the protocol. Okay. Your request is HTTP, you're asking for a web page. Your request is FTP, so to upload or download a file. Your request is SMTP, sending mails. POP3 or IMAP protocol you are using, say you want to receive a mail. If your request is synchronized time between the time server to your system. You want to get authenticated, that is LDAP protocol. You want remote access using SSH or TELNET or RDP, that's for remote access purpose. Okay. So these are the point of protocol. Each protocol also having their port number. Port numbers for system understanding. So when you are connecting, we use a port number wise only, which is port number are specifically for what protocol and their port number. Protocols we understand, port number system understand. Okay. Here also some most frequently used protocols and their port numbers I mentioned here. And sometimes we do not have a protocol for certain type of services. We do not have a protocol, but we have a port numbers for it. Okay. One or two example also we are going to see. So first one is protocol, HTTP, Hypertext Transmission Protocol, used for web access purpose. Port number is 80. HTTPS, this protocol also used to access web-based access, HTTPS protocol. So your request is for a web page. So your request HTTP request or HTTPS request to the web server. Web server see your protocol and understand you want a web page, then it will provide a web page to your system. Simple understanding. But there is two are there, HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP port number is 80, HTTPS is 443. What is HTTPS? Secure. It is HTTP over SSL. HTTPS is nothing but secure. Means HTTP over SSL. SSL, secure socket layer. So what it will do, it will encrypt your data. What are the data you are sending and receiving? The data is encrypted. So no one can able to tamper your data, cannot attack on your data transmission. Even they capture the data cannot understand. Okay. So HTTPS is secure, means data is encrypted. HTTP, no encryption. HTTP, no encryption. So again, HTTP and HTTPS differences important. Okay. Next, FTP. Port number is 2021. Sometimes some protocol having two port numbers for sending request and sending response. For sending request, some are for sending responses. Sometimes both are same. So server to clients, client to server. Sometimes both are same, sometimes different. Like this, FTP 2021. This protocol is used to upload or download a file from remote FTP server. Next, SSH, TELNET, RDP. These three protocols for remote access purpose. SSH and TELNET, CLI based means command line based connectivity to the remote server or remote devices. So SSH port number is 22. So by default, it's encrypted. It is used encryption, means secure. SSH by default, it is secure because while it is sending and receiving, what are the data you are sending and receiving, it is encrypted. It's secure. Telnet by default, not secure. No encryption. RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol, means entire desktop environment you can able to access from your system and you can manage that entire system. Also, remote system, you can manage it from your system using RDP. Same SSH and Telnet, we use it at that CLI-based connectivity. RDP is complete desktop environment. We can generally we use this RDP in the Windows system only. Next, SMTP POP3 IMAP. SMTP POP3 IMAP. SMTP port number is 25, POP3 is 110, IMAP is 143. SMTP protocol used for sending mails, outgoing mail server. SMTP sending mails. So you put a two address and your address is from address and you give in subject, document, everything, right? So you click on send, means it use SMTP, it send SMTP request to the server. Your mail server understand what is your request. SMTP, yes, you want to send a mail, take that packet and check it, what is to address, send your mail to that to address. SMTP for sending mails. POP3, IMAP version 4, both are for receiving mails. Either system use POP3 or IMAP. for receiving mails. Generally, we use IMAP or Gmail. Everything we are using is IMAP only. In certain organization, use POP3 for receiving mails. Yeah, we will discuss that one if you got a chance to discuss Outlook. Yesterday, for 20th batch, I discussed Outlook. If any possible, please check that one. Next. So for mail communication, SMTP POP3 IMAP. TFTP, remote device configuration files, upload or download or backup of the remote device configuration. A remote device configurations, file transferring purpose. TFTP, trivial file transfer protocol. Port number is 69. DHCP, now you know what is DHCP, right? DHCP protocol is 6768. This protocol used for requesting IP address from DHCP server assign IP address to your device. So automatic IP configuration purpose. So DHCP server assign an IP address to client devices automatically. So we selected obtained IP address automatically means your system send requests to the DHCP server to get IP address from DHCP server. Then DHCP server assign an IP address to your client device. Protocol we are using here for communication is DHCP. Who is giving IP address? DHCP server. DNS, another protocol. Domain name system, port number is 53. So DNS, so your system open gmail.com or facebook.com or youtube.com. But we don't know their IP address. We don't know google.com IP address, facebook.com IP address, youtube.com IP address. You put that address on your URL bar. You don't know their IP, so you can't get, cannot get connected. So all communication by IP address. You should know the destination IP address. But you don't know how you will get it from DNS server. What is a request protocol? DNS request. So your system send a DNS request to the DNS server asking like this. I want IP address of youtube.com or I want facebook.com IP address. I want w3schools.com IP address. The DNS server will give you a DNS reply with the IP address of youtube.com, IP address of google.com, IP address of facebook.com like. It is a name resolution purpose. You know the name, but you don't know the remote device IP address. So you will ask DNS server with a DNS request. Of course, to check that one, it is NS lookup command. We'll see the commands after OSA model everything completed. So today it maybe not be completed. We'll see that one. We'll see. KERBEROS, sorry, NTP, Network Time Protocol. So I got a date and time in my machine. This date and time actually given by this date and time. Actually, I got this date and time from an NTP server. So I right click on my date and time, adjust date and time. There you can find NTP server information. This is a date and time. Okay, based on my time zone, I got this date and time from a time server. Where is the time server information? Yeah, here it is. You can see change time server. So this is my time server. Time.windows.com is a time server. So my system send a request to this time server and telling that I am in this time zone. So based on the time zone, based on your server, so please provide a date and time. So obviously this date and time will get updated. Okay, it is used to synchronize the time between time server to all the infrastructure devices, including servers and your client devices. So then no time related errors will occur. In the organization, individually, I got a time from time.windows.com. KERBEROS, KERBEROS, KERBEROS. Port number is 88, used for authentication. This protocol used in a Active Directory, Microsoft Active Directory services use this protocol to authenticate their organization computers. So for example, this laptop belongs to 70s and laptop is under 70s organization, 70s domain. So when I'm logging to my laptop, it will be verified by centralized system called a domain controller. In this domain controller, there is a service called Active Directory Services. It uses protocol, KERBEROS protocol to verify the user authentication. LDAP, LDAP, LDAP is also authentication protocol used by Microsoft Active Directory and other organizations, other companies, because LDAP is an open type. Different organizations use LDAP for authenticating user authentication. Port number is 389. NPM, SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. Port numbers are 161, 162. This protocol used for monitoring purpose. So I have a monitoring system. So in my system, I installed with the monitoring applications. So my system is monitoring system. So I monitor my infrastructure, my servers, storage devices, networking components like switches, routers. I connected. Okay. So firewalls. So I'm monitoring how many servers are running, what is their status, what is their CPU utilization, memory utilization, load on those servers, network connectivities, network bandwidth utilization. Okay. And other things like what is their status, anything is down or up. So what protocol is to get that information from remote devices SMTP. Okay, there's SMTP agents are there. So we'll send a request to that SMTP agents, SMTP request, sorry, SNMP request. Then we'll get that system details, current details. Okay, these are the some protocols, guys. Try to remember at least 10 protocols and be confident at least by 5-6 protocols with their port numbers. It is always helpful. Not only this interview, any interview, internal interview, or in a future also, it is very important. Especially you are moving your career towards networking side or system administration side and cloud side also, this information is very useful. Okay. And as I said, certain services, certain servers, certain services, servers are services. Certain services or servers, application for connecting purpose, we use certain port numbers. Example, MySQL server. In another system, I have a MySQL server application is running. Of course, in a system, MySQL server application is there. A database server it is. From my PC, using a MySQL client application, I want to get connected to my SQL server. So when I'm doing a connectivity, first I have to specify remote system IP address, then username, the password, and also port number. Okay. Also, you should use port number. So remote system IP address to reach that server system. But which application you want to connect? How the system understand? You should use the port. By port number, system understand this port belongs to what service, then it will connect. 3306 belongs to MySQL. Is MySQL service running or not? Service is running or not? Working on this port or not? It verifies and it will let you connect it to the MySQL server. Same for Oracle database. DNS listener connector 1521. Another example, Tomcat. Not only Tomcat, so many web-based applications use 88. Okay, certain web services, web application-based servers. So they use port number 8080. Some are using 8000. Some are using 1800 like that. Okay, some applications are in a different modes. You put a one, sorry. So it is N8N agentic AI server application installed in the this server, means 194 server. To connect that specific service, port number is 5678. So you want to connect that service 5678 port number. Then only it will connect. Of course, it's not running right now. Okay, like that. One is there, another is something 8000. One more service is also available. It is showing only one part. 8000 port number. Another service, Frappy, is running in that one. As I remember, otherwise it removed. Okay. Okay. So different application, even web applications also expose on different ports, not from the. So this is also important to understand to work on the network related kind of stuff. Okay. Protocols and port numbers. How to remember this protocol and port number? That's a big question from the people. It's a big dilemma. That's I told so many, but how to remember? I didn't told how many guys, most of the regularly used. What we regularly use in a communication, web communication. First is web. Daily we are accessing websites, right? Google.com, Facebook.com, daily website we are using. What protocol? Web-based, HTTP or HTTPS. Mostly are using HTTPS. Why? Because secure. Data is encrypted. In internal systems, only certain places, only we use HTTP. Where you don't require some encryption, mainly like your own private networks, encryption is not mandatory, then we use HTTP. You upload a file, download a file, FTP. Next, you sending a mails daily, right? You send a mail, you be receiving mails, SMTP POP3 IMAP. Your system got an IP address, you're connected to your network, your system got an IP address, your mobile phone got an IP address, your TV got an IP address from DHCP server. So DHCP protocol. And you're accessing different website, right? Google.com, Facebook.com, YouTube.com, but you don't know their IP address. How your system got an IP address? From DNS server. So what protocol? DNS protocol. See, all these things we are using. You log into your system. So your system authenticate. What is the authentication protocols? KERBEROS and LDAP. You got a time. This time is updating. Accurate time you are using. Time update is good. So from where this time is synced? From time server. NTP protocol. Okay. Next. What is other things? Okay, these are the frequently used. You are all using daily. So you can easily remember based on the service, not based on some name or a port number. Don't go to with the order of port numbers or order of protocols also. Based on your usage, you can easily remember those information. Remote access. So there is a remote server. You want to connect it and access it, configuring it and doing it. SSH, TELNET RDP. Remote desktop protocol means entire desktop environment we can able to access and we can able to manage that system. Okay, it can be remote server or remote desktop system, RDP. Remote system like a Linux or Unix system or remote devices like a Cisco routers or switches. You are connecting and accessing that environment, and by using command line, you can able to configuring, verifying, and changing their configuration. So then SSH and telnet. Okay. So maximum I covered. Okay. Into what are the left? Maybe a TFTP, SNMP. So like that, say additional points, optional. And you know the databases. Some know MySQL, some know Oracle SQL. You can also understand from it. You don't require to remember, but you can understand with an example. Okay. So try at least 10 and be confident at least by 5, 6 confidently. You guys understand how to, what is protocol and what are their port numbers. Next, we'll go to the OSA model, but just take a 5 minutes of relax break. Back at 4:20. Okay, have something. Go to washroom or anything. Just relax, and we'll start at 4:20. So otherwise, check what is the protocol port number we discussed. We'll go to the OSA. I will stop the record. I'm back at 4:20.